You're watching Conversations with Jenny Lynn, and after a long hiatus, I am so happy to be back. I have missed doing this and interviewing the fascinating people that I have in the past, and I'm looking forward to bringing you many, many more. However, my guest tonight is not a stranger to this show, although he hasn't been on in 2+ years. So I imagine he has lots of updates and many changes to share with us tonight. My guest is Tom Paladino, and he works with Scalar Light. He heals people around the world using Scalar Light, and I'm sure he has many more successes to share with us tonight because a lot happens in a month, much less 2 years. Tom, welcome to Conversations with Jenny Lynn.
Thank you so much. Great to see you again, Jenny Lynn.
Thank you. Same here. Same here. Well, as you know, if I'm allowed to say, Tom was going to share his Scalar Light studio with us tonight, or his lab. And after 1 hour of technical difficulties, we've decided to share his updates and later do a show where we could share the studio or his lab with you. So, Tom, I'm really sorry that didn't work out from where I sat. It looked really exciting, and I was hoping to find out all that goes on in there, but I'm sure I will at a later date. So welcome to the show, and we're excited to hear the new developments at Scalar Light.
Jenny Lynn, again, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. We're going to speak about scalar energy, the energy from the sun and the stars. Now, to be very clear, I work with energy instruments. I'm going to hold up a photograph. That's one of these scalar energy instruments that I work with. So this is not a psychic matter. This is an engineering feat. These are scalar energy instruments that I work with, allowing me to work in a different spectrum. It's not an electrical spectrum. It's not electromagnetic. It's a different energy spectrum. So I'm going to make this very short and sweet. By working with these instruments, I can access a different dimension. And when I'm accessing that different dimension, I can work with people's photographs. This is my photograph, and I can make a connection through a person's photograph with the person's energy field. So what I'm working with is not biological. This is not a biological event. It's an informational event. So I can actually, go ahead.
So it's not mumbo jumbo.
You're right. There's a lot of science behind this.
Right.
Now, over the years, I have and another inventor by the name of Hieronymus have developed these instruments whereby we can take a person's photograph, people email me photographs, and I place them inside a scalar energy instrument. So we're making a connection by way of photographs, energetic photographs, much like you can make a connection by way of a cell phone. Or you and I have a connection now by way of this video conference. I can make a connection with a person, their energy field, their force field by way of their photograph. So with a photograph, I can work with anybody's force field, energy field, anywhere in the world. Now keep in mind, this is not a biological process. I'm not working with flesh and bones. This is energetic. And what people might say, I might be working with their spirit or their aura or their force field. This is the new science in which we don't work with flesh and blood. We don't work with biological matter. We work with auras or force fields. Okay?
So Tom, for those people listening to you and wondering, do you tell us a little bit about your background so they don't think you are some Joe Blow off the street who saw a psychic and decided they're going to do this?
Oh, this has taken 50 years of research. I studied under the Hieronymus family. Hieronymus was a great inventor, and he actually secured a US patent for a scalar energy instrument. And in many ways, I continue on with his work. So this has over 100 years of scientific achievement behind me. And now I'm the new breed. I'm trying to bring this forward another 100 years. This is the energy of the sun, the stars. Scalar energy is not electricity. When I tap into this energy, I tap into a different dimension. It's not a force field of electricity. I'm actually tapping into sun power, star power. Now, what does that mean? This is going to prove to be the free energy that we're looking for. If I can tap into the sun or the stars, that has unlimited energy. And today, presently, I'm able to take that energy and disperse it, send it, broadcast it anywhere in the world through this instrument. So this instrument is working, functioning like a universal satellite. And I can send this energy without any infrastructure. So if people send me a photograph, the instrument can find them by way of their aura, their force field, and send them energy from my laboratory in Florida.
I have a question. Can you track someone's aura through a photograph? Does a photograph convey that kind of information on a person?
It does, but I can't interpret it yet.
Okay.
In the future, we'll be able to interpret their aura or their force field. Right now, I can just, at this beginning stage, I can just tap into their force field and find them. Now, let me use an analogy. I'm speaking to you, I see you in your office, you see me in my office. Well, obviously, we're at a distance, we're separated at a distance, but our image is now shared through the computer, through this video call. Well, likewise, I can share my image by way of an instrument, not a computer, not a video call, but by way of a scalar energy instrument. And so the connection that we make in a video call is by way of Zoom or StreamYard, and my connection is made by way of this instrument. So, but it's a different type of energy. It's not electromagnetic energy. So what can I do with this instrument? That's the key now. What have I established with this instrument? This instrument can look at a virus, say. For instance, if I were to place this virus, HIV virus, inside the instrument would look at the molecular structure of HIV and be able to interpret that molecular structure, the genome of HIV, and then break down the hydrogen bonds, break down the molecular bonds that hold together the HIV virus. So a photograph of a microbe instructs the instrument to look at that microbe, understand its molecular geometry, understand its molecular structure, and disassemble, fragment that molecular structure.
Fascinating. Now, we live in a world where everything has to be evidence-based before people will believe it. And I'm sure you hear this all the time. Like,
Yes.
how do we know what you're saying, that it's really doing that?
Yes, that's a good point. And presently, there's no testing for this. It's such a new science, nobody's been able to test this, prove it or disprove it. So it's still theory. The only way I can prove it is how people feel. I'm going to give the audience a for instance. I'm holding a photograph of a group of people from Delhi, India. This group is known as Om Prakash, Network of People Living with HIV/AIDS. It's a group in Delhi, India. I've worked with over 5,000 people from this clinic. I received photographs from this clinic in Delhi, India. These people were HIV positive. And what I do, I actually take their photograph, and once again, I place their photograph inside this instrument. The instrument can look at each person, understand their energetic character, their energetic signals. If this instrument picks up that any of those individuals have the HIV signature or the HIV force field, this instrument will look for the HIV force field and break it down, disassemble the molecular bonds of HIV.
That's amazing.
It is, thank you. After working with 5,000 people at this clinic, Om Prakash in Delhi, India, many of those people have followed up with a PCR test, a polymerase chain reaction test. This is the test result from one of the test results. This is the test result from the founder. And the founder of Om Prakash states after he was HIV positive for 13 years, he now has no viral load after the scalar energy sessions.
And how many sessions did you have to administer?
It only took 1 month.
1 month.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Every day of that month?
Yeah. It's my experience, it usually only takes one session to dismantle, disassemble, fragment a virus or a bacterium. So once again, let me put this into context, and I'll let the audience make their decision. I've been sent emailed, received by way of email, over 5,000 photographs of participants at an HIV clinic in Delhi, India. Om Prakash. This is their clinic. You can see the sign that says people living with HIV. Om Prakash. People, actually in the center, you could see a man in the orange shirt.
Yeah.
He's the founder of Om Prakash, the founder. Now, with that in mind, he provided his PCR test after I worked with him. And according to him, he no longer has a viral load. It's not detectable. And after 13 years of being HIV positive, he feels great. He does not have any symptoms of HIV, according to him. So this is the beginning evidence, which are testimonies that we have to rely on. Why testimonies? Because nobody can prove or disprove what I'm doing. It's quite different. My work is groundbreaking. It's unique. So in many ways, I'm a trailblazer in this field. It's a new branch of physics. But our test results are incredible. Our testimonies speak volumes as to what we're doing. And people around the world have submitted thousands of testimonies. Our website has approximately 4,000 testimonies now, all attesting to something has happened to them, something has improved their health. And mind you, the only thing they've had to do is email me their photograph.
You know, Tom, there are going to be those watching this going, yeah, whatever. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, why didn't he cure everybody when we had COVID? You know that these questions,
Right.
You're going to get these comments. So I am going to play devil's advocate and I'm going to throw them at you.
Okay.
So if scalar light can heal someone in India,
yes,
there's somebody watching this show wondering why you don't wipe this whole nation clean. Well, bearing in mind you didn't have their photographs.
Right.
Did you clean? Did you heal anyone of COVID? Or did you save any lives you know of during COVID?
I'll make the statement. During the pandemic, I was working with friends and family, over 200 family members, friends, and friends of friends. And all of those people, over 200 people, were essentially healthy during the pandemic. Nobody went to the hospital with what I would consider respiratory problems. Nobody was ill to the point of being hospitalized during the pandemic. So I have to let the audience judge my work by the results that I'm having. Keep in mind, there's no way to test this. This is a new protocol. You cannot test scalar energy as you would test electromagnetic events. This is not Newtonian physics. This is a new physics that requires a new testing method. Nobody has developed that testing method. So the only thing I can rely upon are how people feel, the testimonies of people. Now, again, during the pandemic, I did not have to mask up. I chose not to mask up when I went out publicly. I never developed.
And you never had the vaccine?
I never did. No, never. So the proof is in the pudding. After 2 years of this pandemic, I feel healthy and never had the vaccine, never was deathly sick with COVID. I probably caught it, but the fact that I'm working with myself on a daily basis with scalar energy, I really don't have to worry about long-term illness with any viral infection. So it is quite promising that our testimonies are the body of evidence right now. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, since this is such a new science and we're not working with the biology of the body, we're working with the energy fields of the body, I don't think you can use a biological test to prove energetic force fields. It can't be done.
So Nikola Tesla, how is his work in the past connected to what you're doing, if at all?
Yeah, later in his life, Tesla was working with what he called radiant energy, which is scalar energy, which is the same energy that I'm working with, the energy of the sun and the stars. And with that in mind, this is the key element to our work. We no longer work with electricity. There's a higher order. There's a much more subtle energy, scalar energy. There's non-physical energy. So I'll be quite candid. Scalar energy is a different dimension. I believe it's divine energy. I believe it's from God. And it certainly acts as if it's from God because there is no barrier. There's no time barrier. There's no spatial barrier. So it transcends time and space. Scalar energy is everywhere. It's like the presence of the Holy Spirit. It's omnipresent. So we've tapped into an incredible force field. We've tapped into an infinite force field of energy and intelligence. This is what I'm working with. This is what Tesla alluded to his study with radiant energy. He considered it to be the animating force of the universe. He's right. It's not electricity. What drives the universe, the animating force of the universe, is the energy from the sun and the stars. It's energy from God. It's the light of God.
Wow. So Tom, how many years you've been doing this now?
This is going on 50 years.
No, since you've been working on this.
Yeah,
50?
50 years. I started when I was a youngster. Yeah, I'm 63 now. I've been at this, studying this for 50 years. I studied Tesla when I was quite young.
So okay, so let's back up. So you studied Tesla. I mean, you've shared this with me before in interviews, but I'm getting new information tonight, and that excites me because I'm someone who's thirsty for knowledge. So because I think knowledge is power. So you started when you were a kid, but where did it come from? Like, what was it in you? What experience did you have in your life? Something instigated your thirst
Yeah,
for this.
it
What
was
was
God. God gave me the wisdom. God gave me the insight. How could I do this without God's help?
But
Why?
wait,
It's all groundbreaking. You have to learn this from scratch, so to speak. You have to learn this from a blank slate. How do you learn? How do you create? God has to give you that knowledge.
so but were you sitting one day in church, or while you're in church, you got this download? Because I mean, I get downloads, and I don't care what people say. I
We
think.
all get downloads. Everybody gets a download. Now
Well,
it
some
really
people,
depends
when
on.
you say that, they think you're nuts, but I've gone past caring what people think because everybody's life is different, their experiences are different, and people have difficulty with information that doesn't resonate with them. So I've grown past caring what they think. They've got their life, I've got mine, we've all got our different journeys. But there were certain things that were revealed to me when I was at a very tender age, and I was like, what crazy thought was that? You know what I mean? Because I just couldn't fathom any of it materializing. So this is what intrigues me. What happened when you were this young boy that led you faithfully on the path to where now you're curing these people? And geez, how did you even get the knowledge? How did you know to build that machine where you're putting the pictures?
Well, to be quite candid, over the years I've received messages from Jesus Christ and the Blessed Virgin Mary. So this really is a supernatural order. And it's not, I'm not the prime mover here, God is. So without these instructions, without this advice from Jesus and Mary, I could not have done this. This is supernatural insight. This is supernatural wisdom.
And so they guided you on how to set up the equipment, how to build a structure. Is it called a machine? The thing where the pictures go in.
Many times you can call it an instrument. I call it an instrument, but maybe more
Okay.
appropriately, it's what I consider the Ark of the Covenant.
Aha. Okay.
It's the same energy of the Ark of the Covenant.
That we read about in the Bible, that we know of it. So, wow. You've told me some of this before.
Right?
But tonight I'm hearing different. I don't think I ever asked you. You know, I first of all didn't realize you started that young. So what is your goal for the future with this?
I have a duty to introduce this to the world. This will be of such great benefit to mankind. And I thank you for your audience. I thank you for your time. Now, keep in mind, if what I say is true and accurate, this will indeed change the course of history. However, we're a grassroots movement, and we only can rely upon the grassroots movement right now. That's the extent of the interest. There's no interest from academia, which is fine. We'll just keep it at the grassroots level.
But what are you doing to promote this? I mean, I know you've done, I've had you on my show a couple of times, maybe 3, and I know you've done a lot of podcasts. What is your take on these media sources that you've been using to get the word out there? What kind of feedback are you getting from it?
Podcasts are wonderful. Podcasts like your podcast, Jenny Lynn, thank you so much. They're wonderful. And that's the avenue that I have to approach. I'll be very candid. Mainstream media does not work with me. Mainstream media has not lifted a finger to help me.
I hope I don't get killed for saying this, but why would they? Because we're going to put pharma out of business.
Yeah, mainstream media is controlled by international bankers. And mainstream media does not want to help me. The international bankers do not want to help me. That's rather obvious.
Well, think of it this way. A lot of people are concerned for their jobs because everybody's fearful that AI is going to be taking over most jobs, right? And then so many people are already jobless because in the tech world, they're laying people off like wildfires.
Yes, they are.
So, I mean, I know for a fact that right now, one of the guys who worked at Google on the team to make these robots is now on a hot trail campaign telling people not to bring children into this world because this AI is going to turn around and start killing us. I watched a very in-depth interview, and I have to tell you, as you know, lived many years of my life in the Silicon Valley and was very involved with the tech world. And a lot of these AI guys were on my show. And I always ask that question. And I think it came from watching all these movies where you see these fabricated robots or whatever turning on people and then starting to kill them. And this is exactly what he is predicting will happen by as early as 2025.
Really? As early as 2025?
Yes, I'll send you the link to the video. You can watch it for yourself. I was trying to get him on my show. We're working on it. Hopefully I will. He's written a book. Unfortunately, I can't think of the name. He mentions it in the video. When you watch it, you will see it. But I brought this up to say, if people feel that what you are doing is going to, you can't put pharma out of business, but it will definitely affect pharma. And we know what pharma means to the world.
Yeah.
So why would anybody help you?
Yeah, you're right.
So what does that mean to you?
I'm on it alone. I have God as my witness, and I rely upon the Blessed Virgin Mary, and that's it. And a good group of people. But I don't disparage. You know that I'll overcome. I don't disparage. It's a grassroots movement, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, and if God is in it, there's nothing that's going to stop the success of it. It does happen at His pace.
Yes.
And so, have you seen exponential growth? What would you say, based on when you first started treating to now? What kind of growth have you seen?
I came public with this 12 years ago, and nobody knew what I was doing. And now we're on the verge of becoming a household name in the next 5 years. So the growth really has been phenomenal. I would say in the next 4 to 5 years, it will be exponential growth.
And what kind of successes have you had? I know that you mentioned India. Yeah. What other countries have you had this kind of success?
We're working with people around the world. Over the years, I've worked with so many people because so many people will send in their photograph for a free session. We have free sessions on our website. The photographs can be miniaturized. So what am I getting at? I've worked with at least 100 million people around the world.
What?
I've worked with at least 100 million people in the past 12 years around the world. Some days I receive collages like this of 400 to 500 people easily. Now, if you add that up day after day, 365 days out of the year, I have worked with 100 million people around the world. But sadly, some of those are group photographs, and those who are instructing the people perhaps didn't instruct them exactly what we're doing. Well, I can't control that. People are taking group photographs from around the world. Long story short, you can't keep this down. You can't keep this under wraps. This cannot be, if you will, undermined. There's just too many people that I've worked with, and there's too many favorable reports. Too many people are speaking. It's the grapevine, grassroots effort, call it what you will, and the word gets out, Jenny Lynn.
Well, I am a strong believer in if what you're doing is helping people,
Yeah,
you can't go wrong, right?
right.
Because we're instructed to come to this planet to love each other and to help each other.
Right.
And we have less of that and more of people pulling each other down, which really breaks my heart. I have a really good friend, and we get into these arguments because we have a big playing field and a whole group of people off to the right, a whole group of people off to the left. I'm not right or left. I'm right in the middle, trying to do what God brought me here to do, which is to be the change I want to see in the world. And that is help people, see happy people, healthy people, and just to add value to anyone's life when I can. I feel, unfortunately, that although they're both very important, religion and politics are the two things separating the world. Mm-hmm. And this is very, very unfortunate. It makes me sad, but there is little I can do to change it. And so what you are doing, which is helping, you've got the evidence to show your successes. My question is, somebody watching this is probably thinking, medical care in America is off the charts. I know, I'm dealing with it. So what does it cost to get you to treat someone? Is it affordable for the average person?
If you call our support desk, we have a program, $89 a month. I think it's very affordable. For 1 month, we'll work with you on a daily basis. The instruments work 24 hours a day.
So I send you my photograph, you take the picture, and whatever is broken in me, medically, you fix it.
Yeah, well,
I'm just asking.
I've perfected the technique to eradicate microbes. Now, the instrument also serves to balance your brain waves or recalibrate your brain waves, whatever description you want to use with this animating force. So it's a download or a correction of conscience. Again, it's not physical energy, it's non-physical intelligence. We're working with scalar energy, we're not working with electricity, and it appears that scalar energy can reprogram brain waves. It actually serves to elevate the mood.
You're not going to believe it. We have 58 seconds left.
Okay.
So, we don't have to stop because I want to make sure that I've covered most of what you want to share tonight. Yeah. Is there anything I have not asked you that you want to make sure people are aware of before we wrap up?
Let's keep it at that. And I'll tell you why. This is such a far-seated principle, and the science is so deep and mysterious. We'll just try and keep it at 35 minutes. I would encourage people to go to the website, scalarlight.com, SCALAR, scalarlight.com. Anybody in the world can sign up for 15 days of free sessions. So in order to put that in proper context, try it. Try this new energetic interface. experience what this new technology means, and then you decide if you feel better.
And there it goes. The alarm went off. Was you said better. But I know that we're out of time, but I want to make sure that people watching this understand you don't cure everything.
Yeah, that's
You're not a Mr. Heal It All.
exactly. Only God can heal, first of all. If I'm working with God's perfect energy, I would hope that that people would realize that the divine energy, scalar energy, is the healer. It's not me. Again, this is such a far-reaching principle. It's such an esoteric principle. The best way for me to inculcate my theories and my beliefs is have people try it. To go into the program, email us your photograph, and you try it for 15 days. See how you feel.
Well, Tom, I know that we're going to be doing this again soon.
Yes, we will.
I really want them to see inside of your lab.
Yeah.
So before we do the next interview, you're going to sit in that lab and make sure your microphone works.
Yeah, we had a little bit of technical difficulty. I was in the laboratory with my computer, and there's so much scalar energy that goes into a computer that the problem is sometimes the computer malfunctions, and that's what I experienced today.
And so unfortunately, we couldn't share it with you tonight, but I promised to bring him back, and he will show us what goes on in there and how how he operates and helps to heal people. And Tom, thank you so much. I always love my interviews with you because I'm always, blown away with what you're doing. And I've checked your website and I have seen, some of the testimonials that you've received. So thank you for watching Conversations with Jenny Lynn. I am so happy to be back. When a conversation is all you need to be inspired, and I will see you soon again with another fascinating person. Thank you.